Garrett Fitzgerald, Chief Executive of Munster Rugby. A busy time for this weather, Garrett?
Yeah, it's been a busy few weeks really, I suppose, with the quarter-final, semi-final and final, but as we have the benefit of being through it before on numerous occasions, so that is certainly helpful, and we've learned from our experiences and we've got more efficient and more used to handling situations like this. But it is busy. There's the day-to-day affairs of the business that have to be looked after as well as the final, but it's going okay. We've a good staff and it's working well.
In comparison to 2 years ago, Gareth, then it was the first time in the final, and obviously the huge hype around it. Is it the same interest this time around from supporters? And
I think there was more excitement the last time and more fear of losing and everything else if people felt that they couldn't get through another final, and not win again. So I think it's a different atmosphere, but I think it's probably a better atmosphere for the players, I hope. There's a bit more relaxation. There's a general sense of relaxation to an extent that people can do their job and they know what to do.
Is that born from experience from the players' point of view, or both that and the fact that it's the second time around?
I think it's born from experience really, and it's very important that the players treat the final as they'd treat a pool game, quarter or semis isn't any final. I think they'll prepare better. They may be slightly less drained from the whole pressure of the situation, and I think most of the guys have been through it, the coaches have been through it, so certainly experience helps.
What does it mean to Munster, Garrett, in both financial terms and then branding and whatever, this being in the final?
Well, look, it's the biggest club rugby event in Europe, and probably second, if it's questionable if it's in the world to be in the Heineken Cup Final. It's a huge achievement for a place like Munster, for any team in Ireland to be in it, given the size of the population and the stature of the game in the country relative to the other sports. So people need to realise the sense of achievement that's in it. Commercially, it's a big thing. It's a further promotion of a brand that has established itself at this stage worldwide. Financially, it's the prize money and the prize funds that come out of the Heineken Cup go directly into the respective unions. So it's not a direct payment for us, but it's up. The biggest thing for us is to build commercially on the success of being in finals and hopefully winning a second Heineken Cup. I think if we could win the final, the second Heineken Cup, it really confirms our status as a team worldwide, I think.
And Garrett, you're talking in terms of relative strength. You're up against probably one of the best funded clubs in world rugby, never mind European rugby, to lose. So how difficult is it to compete against that sort of firepower?
It's very difficult. We've modelled ourselves in the past on clubs like Toulouse and on Leicester. I think we've made great strides in getting parity with these clubs compared with 5 or 6 years ago. Toulouse obviously have a huge budget. They have a lot of very, very good players. I suppose they're about the only side in the competition that could possibly play for 15 minutes in the match and do enough to win it with the level of players that they have. But when you get down to a final in a rugby thing, I don't think money is going to be the winner. It's going to be the players, it's the attitude, it's the backup, the coaches and the support and everything that puts it together. So I don't think that the ultimate thing is to have more money than the others. I think it's to have a better group of people and the player, it's still only 15 against 15.
Well, you're the man who's responsible for a lot of the people who are out there in many ways in terms of finding them, sourcing them and paying them. How happy are you with the bunch of players we've seen behind us now as a squad?
Well, I think it's the best squad we've had since I got involved in this job, because finals are won with 22 and more. They're no longer won with 15. In the past we've suffered by having weaker benches, and we've been beaten in semis and finals before by people who beat us by what they brought off the bench. I think we're in the strongest position we've been ever in that area itself. We have an exceptional bunch of players. It's the most unusual thing in professional rugby worldwide that we have so many homegrown and people that have played for us probably for their whole careers and are quite happy to do so. And I think that's a reflection on the club, and I suppose it's a reflection as well on how we treat them and how they're looked after and how the IRFU have set up the whole structure. So I would say that we're very happy with the squad we have, but it's an ongoing challenge and people are retiring, so we need to replace from within or from outside to make sure that we maintain our competitiveness.
At the start of the year, when you saw the pool, Garrett, and maybe at some stages during those games, you must have maybe wondered where we're going to see this day, as in where we're going to see the day that we would be in the final on the 24th of May.
Yeah, the pool was as difficult as I've seen ever, really. It was a very difficult pool. So, I think it's very hard to get out of your pool now than get through the knockout stages, because they're once-off situations in knockout. It was a huge achievement, but unfortunately there are no trophies for getting out of your pool, even though it is harder, I think, than the knockout stage. At this stage we've done exceptionally well to win a quarter and a semi away from home. If we manage to pull this off with all the games away from home, it'll be a huge achievement.
And Gary, you talked about the support, and again the last day was in the last time was hugely significant. Munster would expect again to have the majority of the support. A lot of people travelling from Munster over to the game.
I think Munster will have 2/3 of the support at least there. From the information I have, the people who bought in advance through ERC and online, there was a huge number of Irish addresses. I think someone said up to 18,000 Irish addresses, so if they're buying 2 tickets each, that alone tells you the numbers there. I think that we will have a lot of the local support in Wales as well. And I think it could be the difference, so I don't think the supporters have been unbelievable really. Every player we have here comments on it, but they could be the difference at the end of the day. So I don't think we should be, we shouldn't approach it lightly, or none of us will.
Finally, Garrett, obviously you're looking forward to the occasion. It's the one you might be able to enjoy a little bit more in a more relaxed vein than the final 2 years ago.
I've thought a bit about it myself. I certainly didn't enjoy the last final. There was too much at stake and there was a lot of pressure on it, and I'm looking forward to really, and I'm going to make an effort to enjoy it, but I don't think it'll be any different.